Welcome to the Regrid Enterprise demo, the new webcast series that we've just started. I'm Sahana Murthy, I'm the GM here at Loveland, and we have Nick Downer with us today, who is, let me get this in one shot, Chief of Data Strategy and Special Projects and our customer advocate.
Yes, correct.
Could your title be any longer?
It could not. It could not. I tell people it's like a $10 title, which is
It is.
fun.
And mine's the shortest. You can just say GM and then it'll okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about all things Regrid Enterprise, which is basically the enterprise level subscription of our amazing mapping platform and surveying platform. And you've been doing so much work with our Regrid Enterprise, so it makes perfect sense to have you on this webcast so that you can demo the tool as well for us. So just give us a quick description of, of the Regrid Enterprise tool.
Yeah, so basically Regrid Enterprise, I would say, is the term that we give all of the stuff that we do under the umbrella of community engagement when we're doing any kind of specific like bespoke services, like tailored to anybody's needs, and anything that's larger than a pro account, meaning just like an individual user.
Yeah.
All of that falls under enterprise. And then within that, there's like a big spectrum. So you have all the way from like, I am a small nonprofit and I need to survey the stuff in my block, all the way to I need a custom site to integrate a whole bunch of different data sources, and I need to have a public facing side and a private side and all of this stuff. So within it, there's a lot. And sort of that's what I work on, is really connecting people to the data they need and also getting them set up with the tools that they need through our site.
Yeah.
And so that's I would say the Cliffs Notes version.
Yeah. So basically, even though we call it enterprise, no matter the size or the scale, we can help you with any project. It could be like a door-to-door campaign, a full citywide survey, or just being able to, get any sort of help with property data management.
Exactly.
All right. Wonderful. So let's jump straight into the demo then.
Cool. Yeah, so let me, hopefully the screen share will work. Let's see.
Yeah, it's on your left-hand side.
Learning in real time here. Okay, here we go. Can you see?
Yes.
Awesome, okay. So I'm gonna start from the very start, so the dashboard. So this is gonna be like a lightning tour, and we can go into more things as we see fit. But so basically, Loveland Enterprise, the basic premise is that it's a group account. So whereas our pro membership is one person and you're the only person who can get into that account, in a group, you can collaborate with people. So that means that you can have surveyors out in the field. That means that you and your colleagues can work together. That means that you can invite your boss to see the cool maps you're making, like whatever you want to do with more than one person. That's sort of like the group account's purpose. So when you sign in and you have an enterprise account, you'll typically go to a group page. So you can see up here, it says Loveland Demo Group. That would be obviously the name of your group. And then the expanded powers that the enterprise has over Pro is really mostly contained in this members section. So you can invite people via email, and those are the people who will be able to interact with any of the data and the maps and surveying and all the stuff that happens in this account. Will be only the people who have been invited as members. Mm-hmm. So when you sign in, you're going to be at this dashboard page, we call it, and you can see a list of any projects that you've made here, and you can choose which to go to. A project basically is a map plus data and a survey and anything else that you want to attach to a specific thing. So if you're doing a bunch of surveys in the same place, but they have different intents, like maybe you want to ask residents questions and maybe you want to do a survey of vacant lots or whatever, you can make different maps and title them differently, and that way you would be able to keep your vacant lots separate from your resident responses and stuff. So let's just jump into it then. So if you want to make a new group, you can click up at the top here, and you can see that one of the prompts is new project. You can always get back to your group dashboard by clicking the name of your group, which is always in the top left, and you can go to dashboard here. You can see I'm in like a huge number of groups, but most people it's going to be a significantly less scary list there. And then you can always access this projects tab with the ones that you've done, as well as the ones that you would like to start. So let's say that I want to start a new project and I want to do it in Cleveland. So I'll name it imaginatively Cleveland 2, Loveland Demo Group. So you can see when you go to the Overview tab, the first text at the top here will be the name. The second text here is the name of the geography. So if I click on a specific neighborhood, it'll change to that. And you can see that these sort of descriptive statistics also change based on the group that you have. So that's the basic orientation there. Once you've made a project, you can do a whole bunch of different things, none of which I'm going to get into too deeply, but just as like a basic overview, the main tools that we work with are filter and style, and then we have some surveying and some data set stuff. But the big two heavy hitters are filter, which those of you who have done GIS work before might know as query. It's the same thing essentially. And that allows you to select a set of the data within the area that's bounded here. So you can see this thick black line means that I'm going to be looking at everything in Cleveland. And if I wanted to look at, for example, which properties in that geography, Cleveland, are owned by the City of Cleveland Land Reutilization Corporation, aka Land Bank.
Yeah.
I just clicked on it, pulled up the list, hit load on map here, and you can see 6,679 parcels are owned by that person, and you can see where they are here. You can do more than one filter thing, so you could say, show me the ones that are owner name, City of Cleveland Land Bank, and that have a certain land value or whatever. Whatever you do on the filter here, you can always clear it. And then you can always just click and add things, hit load on map to get it there.
Yeah, you may zoom in a little bit to see all the purple parcels.
Yeah. So you can like click on specific ones too. I probably should note. So you can get into a pretty in-depth state here. You can click on specific ones if you want to look at a specific property. You can bookmark a property always by clicking this little guy up here. It'll bookmark the property for you. And then if you're interested in seeing these parcels that you've selected in a list view, click on the list guy over here, and it'll pull up all the properties that fit your description here. And then if you want to pull it out in a spreadsheet format, you can always click download CSV. So it's easy to pull out a spreadsheet of any filtering that you do. So that's filtering in a very brief nutshell. So the other one that I'll mention is styling. Yeah. So that's essentially color coding. If I want to do the same thing that I was doing, say, look at the land bank owned properties, but say I want to make them like green, pretty straightforward, hit apply, and you'll just see visually where they are. You can do this for various things. So if you wanted to have another owner and say the county land bank, you could repeat the process, and then you could see which ones are owned by the county land bank. So, yep. So that's the scoop there. List view works really well with filter, but you can also just use it if you're at a small enough geography to show all of them. So here we're looking at a specific neighborhood, and if I click list, it'll give me all the properties that are within that boundary. So I can see them there, and I can zoom to any specific one by clicking that little blue arrow guy. So that's the setup. What do you think, Sahana? Should I go into surveying next? Does that make sense?
Let's do surveying, and then we can come back to the top panel features.
Sure. Cool. So there's some data set stuff that we won't get into other than to say that it's fun and you can do it. The surveying tool you can download whether you have an Android or iPhone. Search Loveland Next currently, and it'll pull it up. And what that'll allow you to do is use the same login that you have to get into your group on the computer. You'll be able to access it from any device that has data, so tablet, smartphone. You'll be able to select on the app, you'll be able to select any project that has an attached survey. So if I were to make a survey, those of you who are familiar with Google Forms will feel at home here, but basically you can enter your survey questions and answers. We support multiple choice or free text questions. So I'll use these minimal questions that are preset here for a structured survey. So you can look at them here. You would click save, and that's really all you have to do. Now, if you pulled up, if you were in the Loveland demo group and you pulled up your app, you'd be able to see under Cleveland 2, these questions would come up when you tapped on a parcel. I think we'll probably want to do like a whole separate webcast about the app side of things, but that's pretty much the setup there. And then once you do that, you'll be able to see any submissions that you or other people in the group have made will come into this survey feed in real time. So that's the setup there. The other things that I wanted to touch quickly are the back out button will take you out to the next largest geography. We were talking quickly about the thick black line being the area that you're looking at. If you want to change to a larger one, say you want to look at the county, you can click back out. If you want to click on the city and then say you want to go into a neighborhood and then you want to look at the city again, that's where you would use the back out button. Now, if you want to change the type of boundaries you're looking at here, that's where you would use the bounds tool. So right now, as you saw, the default here is neighborhoods. And you can always see at the top right corner the name of the things that you're mousing over. So for example, Buckeye Shaker Square, Buckeye Woodhill, Fairfax, whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to look at a different geography, say you're interested in census tracts, you can find that under bounds. And what that'll do is pull up the geography of the census tracts within that area. And you can see at the top right how that's changed that here. So if you want to look at census level information, you would change the bounds. Similarly, if you want to look at zip codes or opportunity zones or any of the other things that you might want to look at different geographies of, that's under bounds. We have a variety of base map layers, meaning you can just see it visually. You can look at, let's say, land cover, and it'll pull up here and you can see the stuff here. You would click it again to turn it off. The other thing that I'll note here before moving on is that you can easily toggle between street and satellite view. So if you want to see an aerial imagery, you can do that from layers as well. And then finally, the last thing that I'll note is that if you wanted to draw a specific geography, you can use this draw focus area tool. Before getting into that, its sort of little brother is the measure distances. So if you just want to informally know, like approximately what area or length is something, you can use the measure tool just to get a rule of thumb there. Now, if you wanted to look at it more in depth, say there's an area that you specifically want to survey, or if you wanted to just see sort of like maybe more information about the ownership within an area, you can click the points, name it, whatever you'd like to name it. It'll save to your group, and you'll be able to select it once it pulls up here. And what that is helpful for is, again, anything that you're trying to filter, there will now be sort of a new geography, and it'll calculate for within this area. So if you were like, I'm interested in an area, I want to know how many land properties there are, using a focus area would be a good way to approach that.
Yeah, and then you can also look at the top owners in any focus area or any location.
Right. Yep. So yeah, at any geography, you can always see the top owners, which is super useful too to just see at a glance, as well as like the acreage and stuff like that. So that is the super fast lightning tour. What else do you think I missed, Sahana? Am I missing anything?
No, I think we covered everything. The only thing that we missed is talking about data, like how people can bring in their own data, they can import it, and that way they can join their native data with our base data and then overlay it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do a bunch of that, and like I do a lot of work with that specifically with clients. So if you have any spreadsheet that you work with that has a column that has either parcel number, which is definitely ideal, or latitude, longitude, or street address, we can map it in our system. Yeah. So if you have a spreadsheet like that that has one of those columns, all you need to do is drag and drop it into our import system. I don't have one queued up here, but it's a pretty straightforward process. And once you have it loaded in, you can do all of the filtering and styling stuff that we had just talked about. Mm-hmm. You could also use it in a context where you were really interested in maybe going out and surveying specific properties. So you could go to your city's open data portal, probably pull a list of vacant properties, color code those properties red, and then go out in the field, and on your app, you would be able to see that all you need to do as a surveyor is to just visit all the properties that are in red. So that's like the import setup, and then export. You can export any data that you have imported, any data that you've created in a survey, as well as up to 50,000 rows of base data. If you have a burning desire to get, say, for example, all of the parcel data in Ohio, that's a bulk data question. And we do that as well, although that's not an enterprise product. It's a Loveland product. So we do that.
Yeah. But up to 50,000 rows of CSV data, not shape files.
Correct. Yep.
Perfect. Phew.
Cool.
This was amazing.
Yeah. So how do I get out of here?
There you go.
There we go. Okay, cool. See, look at us learning. Okay.
I know. And Google Hangouts on air is anyway going off air in about it. So, but this was amazing. So just to do a quick wrap up of who can use this tool, I think, basically anyone from, communities to land banks to municipalities to people in real estate. This is a great tool for everyone. I think the Pro is a great tool for people like you and I, because it's an individual account. We can just use this when we are looking to buy a house, perhaps. But the enterprise account, no matter the size of the scale, could be used by all the people that I just listed. Am I missing somebody out?
I don't think so. I think that's a pretty good. I mean, we, for-profit, non-profit, anyone with sort of like a large project idea.
Yeah.
We have probably something interesting.
Yeah, historical districts who want to do surveys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's very flexible. It's easy to just sort of run through the tools, but then the other thing that we really specialize in with enterprise is translating that sort of like sandbox into specifics. So on the nonprofit side or on the municipal side, we have like a fair amount of expertise as well as knowledge about how to get into the teeth of things like tax delinquency, blight remediation, identifying vacant structures or lots, figuring out what to do with those lots. Those are all things that we do all the time. The other side of things that we do is related to real estate. So if you want to find, how many parcels in this county are larger than an acre and sold for this much, you want to look at overlaying different data sources. You have like a spreadsheet of MLS data with a parcel number, as we said, parcel number, address, lat long. Any of that stuff we can work with. And so the other side of enterprise is like, not only do we have this tool that we give you, but it also it comes with our personal knowledge and the support that comes with that. So if you have an idea related to land ownership, or anything that even touches that, if you were like a construction manager and you need a way of like monitoring people laying concrete foundations across a city, you could get the account, you could tell your workers to download the Loveland app, and then you could have them download or post rather with a survey before and after photos.
Yeah.
So anything like that you want to track, you can do. And we really specialize in getting you from like, here's this thing to like, here are the results that we need.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Perfect. And this is the team. We are so approachable. So if any of this is interesting, people can just reach out to us directly at enterprise@landgrid.com or nick@landgrid.com or sahana@landgrid.com. And we are all ears. We want to know more about your struggles or your data challenges and find ways to help you. Because we specialize in custom work, it's not a one solution that fits everyone. So we can customize a solution that fits your needs. So just let us know, and then we'll work with you on that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're a friendly crew. We will not laugh at you no matter what your question is. And I would also say that we do a fair amount of just at any level. But one of the things that I am most interested in is working with people who don't necessarily have a mapping background, but can benefit from mapping, right? So you don't need to hire a GIS guy for your staff. You don't need to spend hours and hours and hundreds of dollars to get a platform and then try to learn how to use it. A lot of the goal of what we do with LandGrid is democratizing being able to map stuff and color code stuff easily.
Yeah.
So, if you're just like, I want to know, I want to see the spreadsheet that I have on a map, please help me, Nick. We do those kinds of things too.
Yeah. Please help me, Nick. That's the tagline for this video.
That's the subject line, yes.
All right, perfect. Let's wrap this up then. We'll see more of these coming from our team, and over the coming weeks. We want to talk about the different aspects of not just our product suites, but the different problems that people face, like we did one last week on blight. So we want to find different problems that we can address and solve. So looking forward to doing more of those with you, Nick, over the coming weeks.
Likewise.
Sounds good. Talk soon then.
All right. See ya.